Alright, hey guys, Paxter, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. In this video, we're going to be going over my personal predictions for EXs for B1A, which should be coming out, I believe, on the 17th. I think it's speculated it should be coming out on December 17th if you guys are curious. And yeah, currently it does definitely feel like kind of like a dry spot for Pokemon Pocket. Feels very weird that there isn't a booster pack coming out towards the beginning of this month, more so towards the middle of the month. And I do get it why they're doing this. They kind of want to match it with the previous year as well as closer to the holidays. So it does make sense. But yeah, nevertheless, I decided to make my own predictions, going over all the color archetypes. The cards I've chosen are a mix of Gen 3 as well as some Gen 1s. Because honestly, when it comes to predicting cards, I try to get into the Dina's mindset. And like, I'll be honest, like it's very hard to tell. If you go over here, also I'll be using the website's Pokemon Zone as well as Pokemon TCG card database. If you guys are curious, I'll leave the link to them in the description below. But yeah, looking at this, just looking at Fire last month, we got Rapidash EX. Who would have predicted that? Like that's honestly came out of nowhere. It doesn't really match this theme of Megas, like Mega Blaziken and all the other stuff. So yeah, Dina really does like surprising us with EXs that we won't really expect to come out. And yeah, Rapidash. So yeah, I did sprinkle in a bit of Gen 1 Pokemon, but yeah, if this is your first video on my channel, really do consider liking and subscribing. It really does help me out tremendously. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, just going down the list, first type we're going to be going over is fighting. And for this one, I put Mega Lucario EX, Stage 1. And this is, we need this. We need Mega Lucario. I think it just makes sense too, because of ZA. I mean, just with ZA just having Mega Lucario, and on top of that, specifically Mega Lucario Z, which they did reveal. I'm recording this on December 2nd. They revealed it this morning. So yeah, fairly new. And because of that, because of I feel like it's very controversial in regards to this Pokemon's design. I feel like that's kind of most Megas from Pokemon ZA, but just to kind of coincide with this, I feel like it is kind of smart to introduce Mega Lucario EX into the game, just base Mega Lucario EX. And it also makes sense in the meta because currently, I mean, fighting type is kind of dead. It's very unfortunate because looking at the previous fighting type EXs, yeah, we have Hitmonchan, came out last month, and yeah, I mean, you either love him or hate him. Personally, yeah, I mean, Quick Straight is cool, but not doing that type advantage really does, it doesn't feel that satisfying to use, you know? Like, you could be going against, like, Arceus EX, you could do 70, but no, this guy cannot do that because, as you can see, attack damage isn't affected by weakness. In a meta where there's a bunch of tanky Megas, I feel like you just want to maximize your damage. And sure, you could pair this with non-EX Lucario, but again, I mean, that's like an extra layer to make this guy somewhat viable, and that's why I don't really like him personally. And then looking prior months, Poliwrath EX could hit for a truck, could hit for 140, and even 160 or to 180. If you really do want to max damage with red and also type advantage, you could do 180. But aside from that, yeah, just the build up for Poliwrath isn't really worth it in my opinion. And you could also run the Politoed. Yeah, I remember for my deck showcase, a lot of people gave me slack for not running Politoed, but I feel it's just so hard to run. Like, I tried to make the deck somewhat viable, and Politoed is a good support. You could do 180 with Poliwrath up to 220, but again, I mean, Politoed, very hard to get out. Stage 2 as well, so you have to get 2 Stage 2 Pokemon out. And this is this came out Wisdom of Seals guy, so this is pre-Suicune EX. So nowadays it might be a lot easier to get this out, but nevertheless, also it's a fighting type. So yeah, it's very awkward. If they made this water type, I feel like it'll be a lot better. But because of it being fighting type, yeah, that's not that good. Donphan EX, I feel like it still could be somewhat viable even to this day. Very solid, especially with Memory Light. Lycanroc, forgettable. Pessimian, same thing. Lucario EX, yeah, they really messed up with Lucario EX. I feel like they could have made this card a lot better, but I mean, damage is pretty abysmal for a 3 energy requirement. Granted, you are chipping your opponent's bench, but I feel like abilities such as this are better towards the early game, where so like you're attacking with this guy towards the towards the end of the mid game, and then more so in the late game. And then by then, I mean, yeah, you're not really doing as much, not being that effective. And before that, Garchomp, I actually might make a Garchomp EX deck showcase because I feel like nowadays it could be somewhat viable, especially with the linear attack, chipping your bench. This guy's amazing if you can get him out, ideally your second turn, going first. So it could potentially be a menace. Glade EX, same thing. Very variable. I mean, you could get some pretty decent damage because attack ability. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very similar to Indeedee. I feel like Indeedee is kind of like the basic version of this. slightly, at least when it comes to attack ability, because yeah, indeed he does something very similar. Only does 30 base damage though. However, of course, Gallade EX does 70. So yeah, very interesting. But yeah, in regards to fighting has been kind of dead. Aerodactyl, yeah, not used. Marowak was good upon this game's release. Now it's not really that good. Machamp, same thing, just very basic. But yeah, given this, fighting type really needs some help. Because grass, I mean, like all the other types, grass, yeah, it needs a bit of support, sure. Water got a lot of support with Suicune. But fighting has just been kind of just dying, slowly dying. It's very unfortunate because back in the day, especially with fighting, the fighting toolbox deck with like Marshadow and Sudowoodo, and even the non-EX Lucario, that was this meta changing. That deck was very fun to use, and yeah, given that, I mean, it's been such a long time, so we definitely need Mega Lucario EX. I feel like that would be pretty cool. And then looking, I'm just gonna compare. Again, I'm using the Pokemon TCG card database. I'm gonna leave it in the description, but I just want to kind of compare how it looks in the TCG. I know this is kind of different. This is like, looking at this, like imagine they add a card like this in the game. That would be insane because yeah, we are currently not here in the game. This HP 340, doing 270 damage of attacks, just able to one-shot literally anything. We're not here currently in this game. I can very much see this being a card. Fast forward like 3 years in advance, like this is where we're getting at. I wouldn't be surprised, and if so, then hopefully I do. I did predict it. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Power creep will definitely hit in this game eventually, but currently, yeah, this will be insane if they had. Like, imagine Dina's like, fuck it, man. You know what? Fighting type, you want to put them back on the map. 340 HP Lucario. Like, yeah. That would be insane. If so, they have to balance that with the attack ability, or not attack ability, but like the attack in general. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do add this, like they would make like the attack require like 5 fighting type energy. You could just run like babies as well, just like Chingling, just running a bunch of babies and just feeding Mega Lucario EX in your bench. I can very much see that being a thing. Like, yeah, they should add that. That'll be interesting, but very unlikely. But nevertheless, again, just kind of comparing how it is in the TCG. In reality, the card will be drastically different, but they better cook, man, because Lucario EX, just regular Lucario EX, was a blunder. Non-EX Lucario was amazing for the time. Nowadays, still good, but again, doesn't really have just like the whole fighting type archetype is kind of just struggling. So yeah, I feel like this could save it if they add a very good Lucario EX. Just don't give it the Gyarados treatment. Because the Mega Gyarados EX, gosh, I might as well pull up. I always mention this guy because it really is a blunder. Because compared to the other chase card Megas, Mega Blaziken EX and Mega Altaria EX, yeah, this guy's really the dumb child. You know the meme where like there's like 3 like dragon heads, like 3 yellow dragon heads? 2 of them are like all serious and just 1 stupid one. This is the stupid guy right here, and it's very unfortunate. I feel like it's primarily the meta that's kind of killing it because of just like the build-up, Magikarp being super frail, which is why they could also add a Magikarp EX. I feel like that'll be much appreciated to make this guy more viable. Just make it very similar to Eevee EX, but like a lot better. Make it so like you can't target it with like card abilities or stuff like that. That'll be pretty cool. But yeah, talking a lot about Mega Lucario, but yeah, dude, fighting type really does need it. Next type we're gonna be going over is colorless, and for this I put Exploud. Yeah, this is in my opinion, a very cool Gen 3 Pokemon. When it comes to normal type Pokemon introduced in Gen 3, Exploud is definitely one of my favorites, and might as well just pull up just for reference. In the game, we currently have this one right here. Came out in Mega Rising, of course, so they could be hinting towards Exploud being a thing. And this freaking prick, it took me so long to get this guy. I don't know why, but getting 3 Diamond Rarity cards are sometimes rarer than getting 1-star gold cards. Not really that good. I feel like it did come out recently. The attack effect is essentially Chingling's ability, and I feel like by then, towards the middle to late game, once this guy's attacking, you aren't really getting much value with this attack ability, because Chingling is amazing. I'm just gonna pull it up for reference, why not? It's kind of bouncing back and forth. But yeah, this card is amazing, especially towards the early game, because it makes it so that your opponent cannot use rare candies, Pokeballs, at least for a couple turns, and those couple turns could be detrimental on you winning. So yeah. Anyways, Exploud, yeah, I mean, let's just might as well look at the... Is there any... Let me just check. Exploud. There's an Exploud EX, okay. So, somewhat popular. And very... Wow, okay, very old. But yeah, looking at this also, if you guys are curious, let me just look up Jump Bluff. because we have a Jump Up EX in the game, but in the official TCG, the physical one, we do not have one. Very interesting, because this kind of shows that Dina does take some kind of creative liberties in designing their EXs. Not really kind of copying. They copied some cards from the physical TCG, like Rare Candy. I'm just gonna pull up Rare Candy. I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth, but I just wanna, the point I'm getting at is that expect anything to be an EX in this game. Like, you could just think of the most obscure Pokemon, and then Dina might just be feeling like, hey, let's make this guy an EX, why not? Rapidash EX, yeah, came out of nowhere, but always digressing. But yeah, this card is very old, and yeah, it really is up to Dina, but I feel like this is perfect, especially for colorless, because looking at all the previous release colorless cards, yeah, I'm excluding promo cards because we did recently get Mega Pidgeot EX. I feel like when it comes to promo cards, Dina isn't really getting into the mindset of like making that card super meta relevant. But again, I mean, if you haven't seen my Mega Pidgeot EX deck showcase, I do suggest watching it, because it was still it was pretty good. It was pretty decent. But yeah, looking at this, the last stage 2 we got was Pidgeot EX. So it's been quite a while, and we've got a lot of basics recently, yeah. And then stage 1, but majority basics, which is pretty interesting. So I feel like Dina should kind of spice this up, add stage 1s or stage 2s. Granted, I mean, I feel like basics are probably the best for colorless, like this in general, but I do want to see a stage 2 that's going to be super meta relevant, because looking at this, the only real kind of meta relevant colorless EX cards are EVX and Arceus EX. I mean, Snorlax kind of fits in there, debatable, but yeah, looking at this, definitely basics are better. But again, man, Dina surprised us. I mean, they could add a very broken colorless card and just make them stage 2. And I very much would like to see that. Hence why I put Exploud for my colorless EX. And going down to grass, I put the main man himself. A lot of people's favorite Pokemon, Sceptile. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this in quotations, because they could very much, I wouldn't be surprised if they could add Mega Sceptile. I would very much like that. But I mean, I'll even take the regular one, honestly. But yeah, adding Sceptile to the game will be it'll garner a lot of hype, definitely. Because again, fan favorite Pokemon. And I feel like when it comes to just introducing very fan favorite Pokemon, this is the best time for Dina. Because again, since it's coming out December 17th, I feel like they're primarily doing that for the holiday season. And yeah, best time to get new players into the game, introducing a very favorite Pokemon, Sceptile. And looking at Sceptile, do we have one in the game? We don't have one. Okay, so no Sceptiles. And then looking at the official TCG, I bet a lot. Should be a ton of Sceptile EXs. Yeah, so yeah, a ton. Very old card, I mean, makes sense. But we also got Mega, so yeah, they could very much add a Mega Sceptile. But last month we did get Mega Pinsir EX. Could be somewhat viable, especially if you run this card with LEAFEON EX. But ultimately very slow, especially towards the high ranks. Your opponent just gets like the best luck, and they just get out super fast. And overall, this card doesn't really keep up with the meta. More people are running Decidueye. This is a full Decidueye non-EX and EX deck. But again, similarly to fighting, I feel like grass needs a bit of support, because currently it is kind of dying, especially with the introduction of Mega GLACEON EX. And looking at the Decidueye deck, which did win a tournament recently, I might as well pull them up. So Decidueye, a very old card at this point. Both of them came out in Extra Dimensional Crisis. I think both of them, let's see. So the EX version, what I'm getting at is that these cards at this point have been out for more than 6 months. So given that, I mean, we definitely need a good EX Mega Sceptile, or just Sceptile. I'll just, again, either one. It really is up to Dina, because looking at this list, I know I listed all the archetypes, but realistically, we're probably going to get around like 5, maybe more. We never know. We got one EX, we got one pack Shining Revelry, I believe had 9 EXs, but just looking back into Mythical Islands, that pack only had 5 EXs, so it really is up to Dina how they want to balance it, how many Megas they want to add in this pack. So yeah, overall, they better cook with the Grass EX. I want to see Grass be back on the map. However, again, priorities, I feel like my main priority is for fighting to be better. Definitely need that. Grass, I mean, Decidueye is kind of carrying them, and I mean, depending if they do add like a let's say like a non-EX, Mega Pinsir EX could be somewhat viable. And yeah, looking at all the other Grass EXs, Mega Pinsir, kind of mid, this in general. Whimsicott, forgettable. Jump Off EX, a lot of potential. But I feel like this card is not really a true grass type card, because it does require colorless energy. So you could essentially run this card in any deck, pretty much. Yeah, and then Shuckle EX, I have mixed opinions with Shuckle. Not really going to get into that. Buzzwold EX, amazing, but currently nowadays slowly getting phased out, especially with the, again, just the the grass type killer Mega Blaziken EX. Delmise, forgettable. Decidueye, goated. Beedrill, kind of aged. Could still be viable, you never know. Leafeon EX, very situational. I feel like it really depends on the meta. Yanmega, used to be good, not that good. Celebi, used to be fun, not that good anymore. Venusaur, meh. Same thing with Executor, used to be good as well. Dina really does have to cook with grass. Yeah, man. We need something to counteract fire type. And what better starter Pokemon, or Pokemon specifically, to counteract Blaziken than Sceptile? Yeah, they're both farming aura. They're perpetually both farming aura. Next card we're going to be choosing for fire is Mega Houndoom. I'm just going to do this again. Fire / darkness. Because I mean, you could put this in anything, Mega Houndoom, because this card is both fire and dark type, so you could just interchange them, really. The more I think about it, this card might fit a lot better with the darkness archetype, because again, fire type is still pretty good because of Mega Blaziken, and fire type doesn't really need any buffs currently. I feel like in regards to fire and darkness, sure, darkness I feel like fits Mega Houndoom a lot more. In my opinion, one of my favorite Mega EX designs. Like, this looks very cool. I really do like the spikes. They didn't really go all out because I've been looking at the regular Houndoom art. I'm just gonna pull it up. I mean, in general, Houndoom's just aura farming. Like, look at this art, man. This is amazing. I'd very much like to have this card in real life. Just imagine seeing this at night. You're dead, dude. You're not outrunning this demon dog. Interesting. So for physical TCG, it's only fire. The Megas are only fire type. And again, it doesn't really mean much because Dina does take creative liberties. And with that being said, I feel like currently, I very much want Mega Houndoom to be a darkness type Pokemon. But it's very weird, you know, like, because like they already added a lot of Megas. And I feel like the smart choice is not to add Megas for those archetypes. So, I mean, honestly, if they want, they could save Mega Houndoom for later and just add Houndoom EX. I feel like Houndoom EX will be pretty cool to have in either fire or dark type. But I'm just going to do the same thing again, just Mega. Because I feel like I added a lot of Megas here. But granted, more likely than not, they're not going to add EXs for all color archetypes. If so, like, they'll probably just like choose like 5 of them. Just wait for Dragon. Dragon, I have a surprise. You can probably tell from the thumbnail. I haven't made it yet, but I can already visualize what it looks like. But yeah, for fire, dark type, did put Houndoom EX. Keep in mind, I do have one more darkness type contender. So yeah. Next card we have for water is Melodic. Yeah, I feel like at this point they might as well do. Melodic is such a cool Pokemon. This from Gen 3, yeah. So it does make sense to add this card. Got a lot of copies. So we got one from Secluded Springs. Actually, that's pretty much it. Secluded Springs, yeah. But we need an EX version. I'd very much like to see that. Once again, just adding more to the water archetype. With that being said, could be forgettable. If they definitely do add a Melodic EX, it might be dead in arrival, because I feel like currently the Suicune EX Greninja combo is just so good. Like, there's really not, like, yeah, it's still super meta relevant. And I know people are sick of it, but I mean, it really is up to Dina. And if they add Melodic EX, they gotta make it amazing. Because, yeah, the Suicune EX Greninja synergy is already very good as it is. And just looking at this physical TCG, just out of curiosity, I'm just doing this essentially out of curiosity. Yeah, very nice art. But yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, Melodic in general. They could make it like a healing. They can make it similar to this version right here. Kind of, this one only heals once it gets evolved. But they could make it passive healing, very similar to Indeedee. But with that being said, yeah, people in general are just sick of Suicune Greninja. Like, it's very rough. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Next type we're going to be going over is Lightning. And for this one, I chose a very fan favorite Gen 3 Pokemon, Manectric. This card, we so far only have one copy of this card in the game, the non-EX version right here. Came out a while ago, Triumphant Life. Wow. And yeah, in regards to attack, not really that good. So just looking at this, let's just quickly look. I feel like fighting type or lightning type has there's a lot of stage 1s. I feel like more so, yeah, stage 1s and basics. We got Jolteon, Raikou, Lantern, what else? Alolan Raichu. Yeah, it's a lot of basics. Only one stage 2. And I feel like that fits this meta perfectly, because I feel like stage 2s for Lightning aren't really that viable. There are exceptions like Magnezone. Like Magnezone, Magneton are just absolutely insane. But in regards to EXs, I feel like I kind of prefer like just like a very frail, just like somewhat low HP, but like basic or stage 1. I've said this before, but the essence of Lightning in general is just fast-paced damage. Like frail, somewhat like sometimes even glass cannon Pokemon that just do fast chip damage towards the early game, mid game, and then by then hopefully you win. If not, then you're probably going to struggle towards the late game. And Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a chart. I don't know if it's a confirmed chart in the official TCG. I'm just gonna try to find it. Or I can't find a specific chart, but I found this post from r/Pokemon TCG. This comment was made by Slanda. Props to him. And looking at this, I feel like this is kind of an accurate depiction for electric. Quick attacks and stall. So just fast-paced damage and also stall. With cards such as Lucario, being a Lightning Bird, they gotta give it like 1 to 2 energy. I feel like that's kind of proper. And when it comes to attacking, do a decent amount of damage. Like they can very much lower the HP, but make it so that this card can hit like a truck. And then looking at a Manectric, but yeah, we got a version. Let me see, is it kind of old? Somewhat new. Okay, we got the Mega version as well. So you could also add the Mega one, but again, I feel like personally, I prefer the other Megas more so. Like Mega Lucario, and then later on, I'll get into 2 more Megas that I do. I feel like it'll be very interesting if they add. Be very hype. Especially if they cook, because I do have ideas. I don't really mention the specifics in regards to the card's attack and ability. I feel like, I mean, Dina, yeah, it's really up to them. Just make it kind of fun. Like, that's all I'm really asking for. But for the last 2, I do have ideas. Like, at least for the abilities. So this is my Manectric. Keep it like this somewhat. If anything, I would like it like this. Like, have 2 attacks. It's been a while since we had a Pokemon with 2 attacks, from what I remember. So they could make it like this. So it has 1 attack that's like only requires 1 energy. Second attack, 2 or 3. I feel like that's more balanced. So yeah, just do that. In regards to HP, I mean, they could tone it down. I mean, 170 is a lot, but I mean, yeah, I would like to see it like at 150 or 140, but hits like a truck. I feel like that's kind of a good balance. If it's a Mega, then yeah, definitely make it as tanky as it can be. But if it's just a regular EX, then yeah, I feel like in reality, Dina would make it not as tanky as this. Next type we're going to be going over is Psychic, and for this, I chose Gardevoir. Yes, because keep in mind, Gardevoir did come out in Gen 3, so we got Gallade EX, we need Gardevoir EX. Again, Gardevoir, a fan favorite Pokemon, just, yeah, one of the best Psychic Pokemons in general, and so this card definitely needs an EX. I think it got a Mega form. Yeah, this card got a Mega Evolution, but personally, I mean, we already have Mega Altaria, which is insane, and I feel like they kind of want to, I feel like Dina should kind of prioritize on color archetypes that don't have Megas yet. So fighting, and you could say colorless as well, like with the exclusion of Pidgeot EX. Metal as well. A Mega Metal Pokemon will be pretty cool. But yeah, Gardevoir, and in regards to the cards we've gotten before, we gotten 1 decent card. Used to be good, but nowadays kind of age. Yeah, this Gardevoir right here. We also have the regular art, but they did release it in Deluxe EX pack as a full art. Very nice full art. And yeah, back in the day, this card was amazing, especially paired with Mewtwo EX. Essentially, you're kind of like reloading Mewtwo EX's second attack. I'm just gonna pull it up here for reference. But very fun. Very nice synergy. And then nowadays, yeah, not that good. Yeah, this is one of those EXs where I'm like, sure, they could add it right now, but I mean, it's very low on my list. I probably should have, next time I'm going to kind of like order this in list of priority. I feel like the first one definitely is like one of my most prioritized is fighting. We need a fighting type, a good fighting type card. But when it comes to Psychic, I mean, Psychic's cooking, man. We got Indeedee, amazing support. Mega Altaria as well, just like amazing damage. Psychic is already on the map. So with that being said, they can very much chill with this. Like, yeah, but it'll be pretty cool though. It'll be pretty cool to add Gardevoir EX. We'll definitely get a lot of people. Next type we're gonna be going over is Darkness, and for this I chose Arbok. Who would have guessed it? Yeah, this is kind of like a, again, I feel like Darkness type is pretty good in general. And again, looking before, I did say that Houndoom EX could be Darkness type, and so Arbok is kind of like, it could be good. I mean, it could be, you never know, but this is kind of like the randomness of Dina, because again, freaking, I keep mentioning it, but yeah, Rapidash. Nobody expected Rapidash, and given that, I wouldn't be surprised if they add Arbok, one of the most popular Gen 1 Pokemon, especially when it comes to Poison, and of course Poison in this game is Darkness type. So yeah, for this guy, they can very much have it very kind of Poison theme. I feel like that kind of fits Arbok's kind of essence. And of course, looking at the physical TCG, we got a couple Arboks, okay? Yeah, this could be somewhat similar, but kind of lower down the damage, also HP. They do add another Darkness EX. They better cook with it, because it's very hard to replace cards such as Darkrai, as well as Mega Absol EX. Came out last month, and it's still very good. Gets a lot of value, and you can do 100 damage paired with Darkrai EX's ability, so very nice. Again, kind of low on my list. I prefer fighting grass to get more buffs, personally. Also metal. Metal definitely needs a bit more buffs, and for the metal contender, I chose Bisharp EX. Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere again, but yeah, nevertheless, I would very much like to see Bisharp. Currently, I think we do have 1 copy. Yeah, we do have 1 copy. Wow. Came out in the first pack. So very old. I remember this card being somewhat viable. Just doing pretty decent damage. 70 damage for stage 1 at the time was pretty nice. Especially for a non-EX. I mean, just looking at the other one, like other stage 1 cards, like especially EXs, we had Starmie EX, could do 90 damage. But it is an EX. This guy is just a regular non-EX. But yeah, overall, I feel like Metal definitely needs the buffs, because looking at the Metal archetype, Metal, good, but it requires a bit of build-up. Skarmory is pretty nice. Yeah, you could still probably use him. Solgaleo is slowly aging, very unfortunate, especially again with the introduction of Mega Blaziken EX. Tinkaton, very fun card, but not that good. PROBOPASS, same thing. Dialga, on and off support. I mean, I feel like is the kind of ideal support for Melmetal. And yeah, I primarily chose Bisharp because one, I mean, he's one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. I feel like he's pretty cool. But at the same time, I mean, they better cook with this. Stage 1, I feel like that's kind of solid. And then looking at Bisharp in the physical TCG, okay, there's no EXs. Very unfortunate. We do have, I think it's called the Final Gambit. It's kind of Paradox form, which they might add eventually. I feel like if I were Dina, I'd probably save that for much later on. All right, last but certainly not the least, maybe, is Dragon. Now, Dragon, this is going to be kind of a bonkers idea right here, because Dragon type, I'm just going to pull it up. Before I look at this, let's just look at all the Dragon type EXs. All right, we didn't get that much. We got one, and if I want to include, might as well do this. Yeah, let's include the promo cards. We got Ultra Necrozma. Sure, he's a Dragon EX. So given this, they better cook with this archetype. And I have a contender for this. It can go either way. I feel like these two cards can either be Dragon or Psychic. But I feel like if Dina wants to take a risk, they would make it Dragon. I feel like that would be interesting, because I very much would like to see a very meta-relevant Dragon EX card. And with that being said, for Dragon type, I put Mega Latios. So let's just pull up the art. There's definitely amazing art from the TCG right here. This Pokemon, Latios, is a fan favorite Pokemon. I feel like in Gen 3, like the Pokemon you think of, ideally like when it comes to legendaries, sure, there's Kyogre, Groudon, and then of course Latios and his sister, and also Deoxys. I would very much like to see a Deoxys EX. Yeah, one of my favorite Pokemon, just overall. Really do like how it changes types. But I feel like this is the best time to introduce a Dragon type card, because in regards to just getting energy, it's pretty easy nowadays, especially since Mega Latios is a basic, and we have a lot of baby Pokemon. So we have Pokemon such as like Mantike that just support it. So if this card needs like fire, like 1 fire and then 1 water or something like that, you can run baby Pokemon to essentially support Latios. And I'm just gonna pull it up for reference as well. Do we have a non-EX one? I did make a deck showcase with this Latios. Very fun. This is Psychic, keep in mind. But again, I'd very much like to see them make a Dragon type Mega. In regards to attack, I feel like they should make something somewhat similar to this. If not better. I mean, this attack does, after attacking, you do discard all energy. They could make it like that, same thing. But you do like 180 or something like huge number. And granted, I mean, this card, in my opinion alone, is not that good. Kind of obvious. And as you can tell, I've been kind of tiptoeing around one card. And that is, of course, Mega Latios' counterpart, Mega Latios. I'm including 2 Dragon types. So, yeah, again, if they're ballsy, they'll go for this. Dude, I very much like to see this. Mega Latios, Mega Latios. Now, on paper, this looks like a nightmare, because you got 2 Megas on the field, and we're in the meta where, like, we have, like, chip damage. We have, like, Pokemon targeting the bench. So let's say you're running Latios in the active, Latios in the bench. Your opponent can just, like, bully your Latios in the bench, like this, like Greninja, Suicune Greninja, and then Cyrus, or like even Decidueye. And granted, these are going to be basic, so more likely than not, they're not going to be that tanky, but you never know. I mean, it is Dragon type. So given that, the only real viable way to run both cards is that if, imagine this, so like the ability both of them have, this is my ideal ability for both Latios and Latios. I feel like they should have something similar to this. If you have a Latios, Latios EX, or Mega Latios on the field, this card cannot be targeted by abilities or trainer cards. So that's a huge counter to Cyrus. And I feel like that'd be very fun. I feel like people are going to be kind of pissed, especially if you're going up against them. But at the same time, that kind of counteracts this Greninja Cyrus. Just like even Greninja in general. So yeah, you can make this if you want, just copy paste the same thing for Latios and just replace it with Latios, of course. And then just like this deck already somewhat counters a very meta-relevant deck. A very meta-relevant just like playstyle, even with Decidueye. You could also say with like Jirachi being able to target the bench. huge counter, and it feels somewhat refreshing because I feel like nowadays people are kind of reliable on that meta, just like chipping the bench and then Cyrusing. That's a huge win condition Cyrus, and this kind of nerfs Cyrus in a sense, in a way that doesn't seem broken because it's only linked to these two Pokemon, only specific to them. So yeah, given this, I feel like this will be pretty cool. So like, let's say like towards the late game, you do have a Mega Latios and Latias out. You're leading with Latias. Latias is about to get one shot next turn. You sub out a Latias, sub into Latios, and your opponent can't do anything. Granted, they could Repel or Sabrina. That could like be their win condition, sure. Depending on how the game is. I mean, you could also run this deck with like, I don't know, Indeedee or something like a support in the background to help these cards, or even baby Pokemon. So you can just sub in a baby Pokemon, counteracting Sabrina or Repel. This ability right here, I feel like is very fitting. Like, I feel like it is kind of broken, especially in other archetypes, but it's somewhat fitting for Dragon because Dragon's already hard to get out. So given this kind of helps Dragon in a sense that like your opponent can just like mess you up. Just like, you know, like before you get built up, they can just like, they can start chipping your Latias or Latios. And yeah, this feels somewhat balanced in my opinion, because keep in mind for this ability, you have to have both Latias and Latios on the field. And yeah, I can definitely talk more about this, but I feel like I've already talked enough. They can very much make the chase cards the Latios and Latias, you know, like Mega Latias, that could be like in the trailer, like their main legendaries that they have, the face of the pack, and that'll be pretty hype. Just, yeah, man, look at this art. Like, costs a lot. I probably can't afford this, but yeah, that's basically my predictions. Yep, take a screenshot if you want, but again, keep in mind, this is my opinions personally. I mean, some of these you might agree and disagree with, but ultimately, you never know. Dina, it's really up to how they feel, what they want to add. I mean, we could be getting Garbodor EX for all we know. You never know. I mean, it's really up to Dina, man. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hope you guys did like kind of like this kind of chill. I feel like most of my videos kind of have this chill kind of like commentary style. Not really good at speaking, but I'm slowly getting better. But yeah, again, really do appreciate if you guys like and subscribe. It really does help me out tremendously, both mentally and physically. Yeah, let's just go with that. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Just please keep it civilized. Yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.